Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Mike Armstrong podcast show. And this afternoon, we're joined by the legend, the man, the myth himself, John Saunders, all the way from Brighton, originally from Made in Wales, and representing Wales on the south coast. At the south coast is or Brighton's biggest nightclub, Prism. And how are you doing today, John? You okay?
Yeah, I'm just moving the camera a bit to show you the Cardiff Blues top and the Wales Iron Man in the back. So
Happy days, yeah.
yeah,
Get your Welshisms in. Get your Welshisms in. So
absolutely. Yeah, good mate. I'm very well, thank you very much. I'm all good, mate. How's things with you?
yeah, I'm awesome. I'm awesome. I'm trying to get the Welsh Dragon spirit around the world in a networking collaboration sense. And I know you're out there, representing Wales in England and holding the fort in enemy territory. So and
Yeah, you're
obviously
right there.
I'm a Welsh Dragon and you're an Iron Man. So that's a good combo.
That's it, mate. Between us, it's all good, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. It's what is it? Fire and steel.
Yeah, totally. Having it. No, it's good, mate. It's good. Nice. We went back 2 weeks ago and came back to the sunny. I would love to say sunny, but it was raining when we came over.
Oh, is it?
But no, we came back. We came back a couple of weeks ago. But no, it was nice to come back down. To be honest.
Yeah. We haven't had a very good summer. An awesome spring, didn't we? I loved the spring. Got myself into a fitness regime, and I've been sticking to it as well since the weather hasn't been very good. But who knows what it's going to be like now when it's freezing cold rain. But how's your
It's all
training
about it.
going?
That's where the old mindset comes in, isn't it? You got to get out in that bad weather.
Yeah. Well, I had to do it. I was on a 75-day challenge, so I
Yeah.
completed the
Oh, that
challenge.
guy.
Like, yeah, no problem. Done it. Like a breeze.
Good.
It was
Happy days.
it was called 75-day hard. I didn't think it was that hard because it was not that difficult than the own routine I set myself. Before I did it, I was doing my own routine, which was quite similar. There was just a couple more component parts to this one, and it was more a time challenge because I was already doing my own set challenge in work as well. So it was like a health, fitness, exercise, mental toughness challenge wrapped up with a going global and recording. I was just going to say shitloads, so I'll say shitloads of episodes on my podcast, yeah, to take myself into stratosphere. So, combining the fitness and the heavy work regime has been a time management challenge more than a mental toughness challenge,
Yeah. But how's the workload going? What were you up to? How's it all going?
Well, yeah, I managed to smash out about 600 recorded episodes on the podcast since the end of April. Done over 150 dual chats with entrepreneurs as part of that 600. Done 30. What are they called? I can't think what they're called now. Summary type episodes where I combine some other episodes together. Compilations. That's what the word was. That was escaping me for a while. Set up my YouTube channel, blasted loads of videos on that. Got my ability to do live streaming now on YouTube, which you have to get so many likes of your videos and stuff before you can get that. Created a TikTok account. Been smashing that as well. Had a few thousand views of my videos on TikTok.
Cracking.
Just been my friends on Facebook is like tripled or something. Been getting loads of people just coming to me daily, wanting to connect and stuff. So rather than me having to go out there looking for them now, they're coming to me. So that's all good. Did about I think 8,000. I did 7,000. I did an episode the other day, 7,000 downloads, and I'm now up to 8,000. I think so. It's really growing quick, the downloads. So yeah,
Good.
just all going well, really.
Happy days, mate. That's what it's all about, isn't it? That's what it's all about.
Yeah. What about yourself? How's things been going with you since you've been back in the land of the hospitality world after the long
Yeah.
vacation?
Yeah, it's been good. Look, I think like anything, you just want to get back in behind the wheel, don't you? And ultimately, I suppose we're in a bit of a sticky wicket still again, I think, with regards to there was word on the street today about the second wave and bars and pubs closing. And, I think that, look, from my point of view, if they do close again, I think it's going to be a very harsh, I think there'll be just such a harsh reality of how badly it'll impact the leisure industry. But look, on a positive front, we're back, we're trading, we're full price, the GP's good, the profit's there. You know, you're doing it with some conditions, which is, you know, for safety of people. But ultimately, it's back behind the wheel, like I said. And I'd much prefer to be there than be a passenger in the back seat, not being able to control it. So, yeah, look, I've enjoyed it. I mean, I've been a part-time, you know, I've been doing it part-time for the last 6 months. So
Yeah.
what is there not to like? You know, I've had the whole summer off with my kids. Like, you can't get that time back, can you? So for me, it's been amazing on that level. But, you know, I do feel for my bosses and my CEO, because I think they're in a real tough position and they're gonna have to make some tough calls coming up.
Yeah, well, that's it. You know, everyone, you know, just like I had to in the global credit crunch, which sort of affected me massively. You've got to sort of retract. You've got to go back a bit and then go further forward as you know the market allows you to go back into you know where you want to go and your ambition. Sometimes you just got to retract and stuff. So the reason I'm saying that on here is because I want people to know that you know people will go through these things all the time, and just because it's happening now, it don't mean it won't happen again, and it don't mean they won't get through it. So it seems like it's
Yeah,
the end of the world when they're going through it. I've been through it myself, and it's not good. But you can get through it. You just got to sort of keep yourself, you know, into sort of maybe personal developing and personal empowerment, and keep yourself, you know, on a line somewhere, or ask for help, or do whatever you need to, and then eventually you can get over it. Like you know.
yeah, no, look, I totally agree with you, and I think there's a lot of value in what you just said, to be honest. And you know, I think you keep your positive mind, keep your positive mindset, and you'll get through it. But and I think, you know, I'm very lucky that I work with a great bunch of people. Like I've got a great company that I work for. But you know, being an owner that I have been, and you know, for over 6, 7, 8 years, I have got empathy for them because I do feel at the moment. But I do also think that the strongest will survive. We all know that. And if they got enough money in the bank, they'll survive it, and other people will go by the wayside who can't. So, you know, I think that it actually there's a massive opportunity for Deltic and the leisure industry generally. If someone takes it by the throat and really throttles it, they'll win the day.
Oh
It's the
yeah, well,
ones
there's
that
always yeah, there's always that opportunity. You know, it's when everyone else is retracting, you know, and taking protection. If you've got the ability and the armory to go on the offensive, then you can clean up.
yeah, well that's it. The ones that've got money in the bank, the ones that'll win, aren't they? You know, if you've got a really strong balance sheet and you've got a really strong cash flow, as in you've got bank cash in the bank, then actually you're probably in a stronger position now than you ever will be,
Yeah.
because you can maneuver this going forward. I think the issue I go back to is I think of like for the businesses I've had, and if it had hit when I had them at their peak, I'd have been okay. But if it was at their bottom when one of them was, then I would have lost that. You know, I would have lost a couple. So because you look at how fragile that's how fragile the cash flow is in this industry. Because you got to work hard for not a massive return. The return is when you sell the properties or sell the businesses, or that's the opportunity day by day. You know, you're not looking at millions of pounds profit. You're looking at maybe, you know, you're not looking at that sort of margin. So margins are tight, and if you're not full capacity, then you've got to find ways to make it work, haven't you?
Yeah, definitely. But a lot of people in the UK see business failure as failure when really, you know, sometimes you can't get the first business right or the second or the third. Sometimes you need to go through a process and learn some things, and actually
Yeah.
then you're a much better business person long term. So there's loads of you know successful entrepreneurs who've had failures in their listing and in their history,
Oh,
and it's just part of
everyone.
life, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. And that's for your listeners, and that's exactly what life is all about, mate, isn't it? You know, if you don't fail, you never succeed. And ultimately, you know, I was talking to a colleague earlier on. I got 3 no's today. Um, from quite, you know, from, and I could sit there and say, well, there's a no, but actually I sat there and said, well, what have I done wrong? Because if I reflect on what I could do better, then I'm going to get more yeses in the future. So, you know, I've got a problem with losing somebody, but I have got a problem if I've lost them because of my own ability, you know? So, but look, yeah, no, you know, on that note, I think the leisure industry is going to get a. I've always said it. If you take Cardiff as an example, Cardiff's got far too many bars and restaurants, right? There's no two ways about it. It's just got too many for the amount of people in the city. So at some point, it needs to realign. You know, it has to realign. It had to. It went through it in sort of 2010, 2015. You know, 2000. I think I opened up. I did. I opened up Edwards on St Mary Street in 2001. You know, that's going back. But at that point, in the same 3 months, Prince of Wales were open. There was like 6, 7 bars open at the same time. And I just, I thought then, bloody hell, all these bars are coming, and even more have opened since. Obviously, loads of them.
Yeah.
But at some point, you can't have all those bars open doing okay. You need a few doing superbly well. In order to, so that's what's going to happen, I think, over the next sort of year or two. I think you're going to get a lot of people go to the wall. Unfortunately, I think a load of them are going to be independents, which is a really sad thing to happen. Because I think we should all be investing in our independence. Otherwise, all you're going to get is walkabouts, and that's not healthy for any sort of city or town that they want to be seen as a growing city, like for example Cardiff wants to be. And so look, I think it's going to realign. I think we're going through quite a tough time, like anyone is, but I think we're bearing the brunt of quite a harsh reality that it's not going to go back to its normality for a long time.
No, and I think the problem is with bars and with a lot of towns and shops and all sorts and in business in general is that people don't like to be creative and they like to copy everyone else. And so you end up, it's the same with TV programs. You'll have one singing contest and then you'll have 1,000 singing contests because one went down well and they're all going over to the same market. And the same with bars. One new bar will open, they'll all refurb then because of the bar, but they're all just doing the same thing. And like I've thought for a long time in the bar game, there's nobody doing that sort of like entertainment venue where you can go and have something to eat and be entertained, maybe by Latino dancing or acrobats or something creative and innovative. And I think that's the problem, is that there's so many bars doing the same thing, and it's a bit potluck whether they make any money or not. It depends on a match day whether loads of people walk in or not, or whatever. They don't offer anything unique.
Yeah. And I don't disagree with you, mate. I think ultimately, what my prediction for the future, if it's worth anything, is if you're going to invest or you're going to be going into something, I think anything like you just said, something different is where it's all at. You look at the depot. What the depots ended up doing is winners and losers. I'm relating this back to Cardiff because if I bring up a Brighton offer, a lot of your sort of audience may not know it. So if we use Wales and Cardiff, look what the depot have done. The depot have thought outside the box. They've got an outside offering that works really well. And actually, the social distancing is banging. One of my previous bars, Dead Canary, is perfect for this pandemic. It's all table service. It's all sat down. It was waiting for this to happen. Now,
it's all socially distanced already.
But yeah, I don't own, just for the record, Dead Canary anymore. But I know the guys that own it, and I'm hoping they're going to get everything they want from this, because ultimately they work hard enough anyway. But two, the offer was ready for it. But going back to the depot just reinvents itself all the time.
Yeah.
And the thing is, that's why Tiger closed. Tiger closed because back in the day when I was running it, or previous to me and after me, they had new bars coming every 3 years to keep it exciting and something new and fresh. As soon as you stop investing, as soon as you stop changing, as soon as you stop challenging, it's game over. And I think, the bars in Cardiff generally, or around everywhere, and especially with this pandemic that's come in, it's really interesting to see some of the real big institutional bars on the high street, doing it really safe. I take my hat off. We've got to be safe. We've got to look after lives. But aren't even pushing it at all, And I just worry for them that when it comes out of lockdown, what future that's got in that model. But then again, that's not for me to pry. That's just for me to comment,
Yeah, but also it's a massive problem with psychology because, like for example, the people going out was declining for a long time. When I used to go out, and you no doubt in the 90s and stuff, in the heyday, it was a cultural thing, and it was like what you did. And then the generations below didn't go out much anyway. And once they get locked down for 6 months and you've changed your whole habits and your whole lifestyle and everything else, it's quite hard to get people to go back. Just like at the moment, it's hard to get people to go back to work. People don't want to go back to work because they enjoy the lifestyle.
I mean, funny enough on that level, I won't bring any names into it, but a girl that's worked for us for like 3 years, she went off the radar in March. We haven't heard anything from her until yesterday. So she's been off the radar for 5 months, 6 months, and then she didn't get paid last week. She's back on the blower.
Back on the radar, yeah. Surprising how that happens.
In the nicest way, where have you been for 6 months? You haven't answered any emails. But the point is with that is that, people are used to doing their own thing. They have got to have it. But I think nightclubbing will not be like nightclubbing ever again. I will say that. I know that sounds quite a broad thing, but I don't think it'll ever be the same again. But I think the person that picks it up and gets money-making schemes in big spaces like we've got in prison would be the ones that win the day.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's it. You've got such a massive venue. What are some of the things you're thinking about with that? I think I mentioned to you before, be a great venue for esports, that sort of
Yeah,
thing,
yeah,
which is
yeah.
massive at
Yeah,
the
well,
moment.
yeah. We've got virtual sports coming on. We've been working with Bingo Lingo, so that's why I mentioned the depot, because
Yeah.
we've put a couple of Bingo Lingos in our time. They're the sort of things that'll win the day, mate. You can sit down, you can have fun, but you
Yeah.
haven't got to dance and jig around. You just got to, and ultimately, that's what I'm saying by where times have changed. People want something for their money. That's why Nick Saunders, I've got a lot of time with Nick Saunders, and I know his silent partner as well, but he's a really good operator as well. But the two of them in the depot, they're going to do really, really well. They've been, if I can talk figures, they've been doing in excess. Well, I won't talk figures, it's be rude of it, but they're doing a lot of money, mate, because they've jumped on it. The offer fits what they do, and they've rolled it, And a lot of the offers, again, maybe a bit bad towards Celtic. I just think we're sort of not, we're going on what the government is saying, not necessarily. But then again, why would you change? You've been a nightclub business for the last 20 years. It's very easy for me to come in and say change it to this, but they've been a nightclub business. That's what we are. So they
Yeah.
want to stick by it, and I understand they want to
Yeah,
stick by it.
but so many businesses refuse to change with the economy and the environment around them, and then they go bust. Well, worse blockbusters. The high street and the
But
city centres are littered with them.
yeah, but the bit you were picking up on there, Mike, I think is a really interesting point. Is the city centres numbers have declined in the last, like I've been doing it a while, 20 odd years, and you've seen the numbers decline. There's no two ways about it. Figures, facts, it's still busy. Saturday night, peak time, going to Cardiff, Chippy Lane is full, right? It's still going to be busy, right? But ultimately, the numbers are depleted. They are. They're going elsewhere. They're spending their money elsewhere. So actually, you could argue this is a real good tipping point to say, well, actually, the numbers are dropping. Change
Change the
what you're doing
format.
to have less people do it to get more money, and then realign it, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. To me, it's all about innovation. The thing is, people hold on to the past too long. They hold on to their comfort zone. They're not quick enough and nimble enough to adapt to changing circumstances, and they end up banging straight into the iceberg.
Agreed. Oh no, I totally agree, mate. I totally agree. And it's a real look. It's a real interesting. I can't explain it too much. All I can ever say at the moment, it feels right. Not because of Deltic, but the industry. We're doing it just to sort of tread water. It doesn't feel like we're in this for the long term.
No,
Do you know what I mean? It feels like we've opened and we feels like we're trading and we're making some money, but actually this doesn't feel like it's going to be a long-term fix. It
no.
feels like something else is coming to sort of just, and I think that second wave and us closing first before schools will happen, and that will stop so many people operating. Honestly, it could
Yeah.
really like damage everyone.
Well, I think they should have let everyone out and encouraged everyone out a lot earlier, because I think they should have encouraged the second wave, because I think they should have then locked down like now when we're opening up, so that they could then have opened up for Christmas. But I got a feeling we might end up locked down at Christmas, which will be a killer to everybody. Because without a
Yeah, well,
Christmas, everyone's gone,
Yeah. Look, there'd be so much carnage if that is the case. And don't get me wrong, I still think if we're sat here now talking about the second wave, we've been talking about the second wave for the last 6 months.
Oh,
So if you're talking about it 6 months ago, what exactly is the plan for the second wave now? Not because of government, but us as an industry.
yeah,
I'll put my bottom dollar on. Outdoor bars and outdoor entertainment will be the winner, hands down, in this fight.
yeah. Yeah, the only
All
problem
right. So
is
those,
our winters don't really play ball with the outdoor bars,
no,
do
they
they?
don't. But for those who accommodated, like the depot, have put a big marquee up and put heaters in there, they'll
Oh
win the
yeah, well
day.
yeah, they'll win the day. Those sort of venues, yeah.
So I think that those sort of, for me, that's where the leisure industry will always win. Is I love like the Croydon Box Park. I mean, I've always loved those. I think they're amazing. I think it's street food, it's entertainment, it's what you want to do. That area is buzzing anyway. But every city should have one of those, right?
Yeah,
Like Cardiff is crying out for one. Depot's done well because it hasn't got a box park. But don't get me wrong. There's lots of people I think looked at it. They were looking down the bay, but I think they decided to put an all-purpose stadium there now, haven't they, or an entertainment sort of event space. So that was going to be meant to be going there. But I was talking to Ken Paul before I came to Brighton, and he was talking to me about that project. But box parks and outdoor space and entertainment will 100% win the day.
Yeah. Well, that's it. Well, people always want entertainment. That's the thing. This is why I say if people can just get a bit creative and put interesting different things on, aimed at different groups and different niches and stuff, people will always want entertainment. But you've got to give them
Yeah,
something. You got to build it for them to come.
yeah, I totally agree, mate. And the exciting bit, I mean, I'm talking to you, but if my boss, which I think has done on several occasions, said to me, "Look, John, we got this to fill. What do you want to do?" But that's where the entrepreneur comes in, isn't it?
Yeah.
You say,
Well.
"Well, let's do this, let's do that." I got 4 promoters begging for me to do something because they're not daft. I've got the biggest indoor space to use, but I'm the only one you can make money off.
Yeah, well, really, yeah, because you've got the upstairs and the downstairs, and there's
Yeah.
bars and the separate rooms, so socially distancing to you is not as big a problem as it is for
No,
these like
no.
small, like thin bars and stuff,
Exactly. Well, the beauty, like relating Brighton to Cardiff, what they've done down Castle Street, I love that. But my exact point to that when I saw it is I know Cardiff better than most people, and that will only be used 2 months out of the year. You
Yeah,
know, that's
yeah,
the sad truth. Whereas Brighton's not slightly different. We get better weather down here,
yeah,
and our seafront has been rammed all summer. But ultimately, where are they going to go when it goes winter? They got to go indoors.
yeah. So it's only your venue that can mop up then, isn't it? Really?
Bingo. That's the
But
thing.
also
And
those
ultimately,
midweeks as well. There's got to be stuff you can do in that midweek, like you say, maybe bingo, taking people out of smaller bingo venues where they already had the crowd, and putting them into your bigger venue where they can actually still service the same crowd, just over a bigger space,
there's so much we can do, and I think, but don't get me wrong, us better than anyone. What they're worried about is prison brand going. I buy that. You start denting prison brand,
Yeah.
and then you start denting what it actually believes in or what it is. I buy that, but taking prism out of it, if you do it on your dark sessions, which is nights you wouldn't normally be open, then what's the problem? You're just renting the space out, aren't you?
Yeah, I tell you what would work as well, probably, is cinema. Because you've got a big
Yeah,
screen in the centre and you've got loads of space all around it. So you could have like a stand-up cinema with a pint.
but he obviously we're next to a Odeon cinema, and we're already in talks with them about what we could do with them because they
Yeah.
want to show. We wouldn't even have to apply for the license. We just use one of their films.
Use theirs. Yeah.
It's their building. We rent the venue from them. So
Yeah.
we've already talked to them about it, mate. That would be brilliant. I love
I
that.
think that would work. I think that would work anyway. Why don't that happen? Why in their cinema pubs?
Well, look, at the moment, like I said, maybe I'll change the subject a bit because it's quite political at the moment with regards to where we're going as a venue.
Yeah.
Our CEO is at the moment, talking to government and trying to levy, action to keep light clubs alive. So, and I take my hat off to him because I respect everything he's doing. I respect why he's doing it as well. The bit for me is that as soon as we get the green light, if we do, to start looking at other ventures, then those are on the cards,
Yeah. Yeah. But to me, it's just seems weird that it's not cinema pubs. You know what I mean? Like you have a couple of rooftop cinemas and stuff on rooftops, and they have like bars and stuff. But it seems a bit
Yeah, mate,
crazy
I
that.
think there's so much that can be done and will be done. It's just a matter of, just like I said, just everyone. This was said to you about. It feels, it's just a weird situation at the moment where no one wants. It's a bit like, how do I explain it? It's a bit like you playing rugby and you picking the ball up and getting, you pick the ball up and take it to number 10, and you see the gap and you go for it. Everyone's picking the ball up and just running straight at the opposition number 8 because it's the safest option.
Yeah.
There's actually a good number 8.
Or they're going left to right, but then there's no real forward momentum. They're just passing the ball all the way to the left and all the way to the right. They're playing the game, but without any dynamism, without any velocity, without any momentum. You know what I mean?
But yeah, and the momentum is the bit that I just feel for all of us on that because we can't open it. Just like I said, you tread in water, and it's hard because the upper bosses, no one's used to this. No one's been. It's a first for everyone. I buy that, but it's interesting. I'm just talking from an industry generally. It's a real fun. Don't get me wrong. I'm looking forward to the future. Next 3-4 years are going to be exciting. I know they will be. It's a matter of just finding out which path is the right one to take, and then whoever does the right one will win the day.
Yeah, and sometimes it takes somebody, to stand out and put themselves above the parapet and do something different, and then, lots of people follow suit. Then, don't they? Like I said before, everyone likes to copy everyone else. That's why, to me, it would always be my advice in the hospitality sector, any business sector, would be just to do your own thing, do what's authentically you, and
Yeah.
you know, be creative and just come up with something that's different. Don't just follow the crowds for the sake of it. Like, you know?
But it's interesting you say it, actually. Something quite exciting project-wise I'm looking at is the Brighton Sevens.
Yeah.
So I've got the links into the rugby club my boy plays and I coach there. And I tell you what, I think Brighton could 100% compete with Bournemouth Sevens quite on a level. You know, I think the cities are better. You know, I'm not going to argue about Bournemouth. Anyone, I don't want any abuse from Bournemouth, but I think Brighton's, now I've lived here, it's got so much going for it on the nighttime
Well,
side.
I've been to both. I've been to both Bournemouth and Brighton on night out and day out and all sorts of things. And definitely Brighton's definitely bigger than Bournemouth, and it's a bit more
Yeah,
going
it's
on,
got
like, you
more.
know.
Yeah, it's just got more going on and it's got that vibe. So I reckon the Brighton Sevens could absolutely storm it. So watch this space, I think, is the question with that. Is watch this space with that.
Yeah, and I suppose there'll be a nice venue for some after sevens after sevens drinks and stuff.
Part of what we were doing at Celtic last year, we were looking at putting on or getting involved in outdoor spaces and bars and whatever. So when I get it all together, I am going to be approaching Celtic to see if they fancy getting involved with it, because I think it's something that we could really benefit as a venue from as well.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, how's the training for the Iron Man going? I did ask you about that, but
Yeah. Well, the Iron Man would have been yesterday. If it wasn't cancelled, it would have been yesterday. So it's 364 days from now, mate. So I've actually got a virtual marathon, London Marathon, coming up in October 4th. So I've started running for that. I've got a month sort of training to get that under my belt. Yeah, I'm feeling good actually. I feel good. I went in the sea yesterday for a swim. It's good. Yeah, things are good fitness wise. I feel good. And you said you're still going.
yeah, I'm still going. I had after finishing my 75-day challenge, because it was after a 3 month of my own challenge. I had a weekend off, which turned into a week to maybe 10 days. Can't remember now
Right.
exactly. I think it was the 10 days ish, because I had the weekend, then the week, and then the other weekend, and then I started back on the Monday. And I haven't been going out every day, but I've been going out most days. Like, you know what I mean? So, you know,
Right.
I'm sticking at it. Like, you know, keep myself fit and that. It's just again, for me, in the lockdown, I could put a bit more time into fitness and health and all of that, because, you know, it was a boom time. It was lockdown, and a lot of people were pivoting and stuff. It wasn't the time to go full steam ahead. But the way I see
Yeah.
it is, I always thought when lockdown got released in May or whenever it was, March, May, June, July. I don't know when it was. I don't really keep up with the news, and I'm too busy doing my own thing. But I knew whenever
Yeah.
the lockdown opened up, anyway, things weren't going to turn back to normal until September, because it was summer
Right.
holidays, and it was all that, and nobody likes doing any work in the summer in the UK anyway. You know, very very rarely. You know, especially in the B2B sector, which is what I'm in. You know, they all go on holidays and all away and everything. And September, October, November is always the busy time. So
Yeah.
I so
Cool.
so so since like the beginning of September, you know, which is what was it been like a week and a bit now, week and a half now, I was full steam ahead anyway in the lockdown, 100 miles an hour. But I was also, you know, a bit more time to, you know, cook and exercise and all of that. But now I'm full. I'm still doing the exercise where I can and all of that. But I'm much more focused on full steam ahead in the sort of sales, marketing, networking, events, all that sort of stuff now, as all of that picks up again, like, you know.
Yeah. It's good. It's good. Yeah. It's good. Let's just keep it going, mate. Yeah. Keep it going.
Yeah, definitely. I've been doing about like 10, well, between 6 and 10 events a week around the world, networking,
Well.
and that's my front end of the funnel, really. The going around online networking gets them onto my podcast. Second stage of the funnel gets them connected then on social media, LinkedIn, Facebook, wherever. Third end of the funnel, and then it's about, okay, how we can help each other,
Yeah.
collaboration.
That's good. And that was the interbiz and everything. That was everyone at interbiz all going well.
Yeah, Intrabiz have been smashing it. They've had a really good time, you know, because of the online and everything. Their first real world event is this week, Thursday at Geo's down the bay. So I'm looking forward to that. You know, my first real world network event since March, considering I used to do 2 or 3 a week, you know. But
And
but I
they
probably,
got a world. I saw Paul and Tracy put on this world summit, haven't they? That looks excited.
yeah, the global summit is on in November, I think. And yeah, a lot of the people that they had on during the lockdown period, you know, one at a time, they're all going to be on over like 3 days all at once, like, you know. So all the greats,
Cracking.
like Brian Tracy, Les Brown, Jarek Robbins. Who else is on there? Sharon Lecter.
Yeah, I saw Sharon Lecter. That's good.
Yeah, all the big names, So yeah, it'll be a great 3-day event because it'll draw the crowds, won't it? Whereas each of these guys one at a time draw a crowd, but all together en masse, and it's going to be a unique 3-day experience. And I love all that sort
Yeah,
of thing.
that's good.
So obviously
Cracking.
they had to roll their real world event into next year, so that's why they've got the time and space to do that online summit. My
Yeah, good,
guess
good,
is
good.
my guess is they'll continue to do it forever now as well because they'll get a lot of people to it because it'll be a global event.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, well, that's great, and being part of that must be pretty exciting.
Yeah, definitely. And I met a good friend who's like a power networker similar to me, based in North Sussex, based North Sussex somewhere. And he's invited me. He's involved in a couple of groups that are international. So I've been doing some networking in South Africa, networking in Germany, networking in America. And then I also do a bit of speed networking event, which is like 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock on a Thursday, which is with a
Cracking.
guy called Gerald Solution Hammond. And
Right.
it's based in America, but it's people all around the world, speed networking. So that's really good as well. And then obviously I've been doing the outstanding network as well, 3 days a week for the last few months. The first 3 months I was doing it like every day, 7 days a week during the beginning of lockdown. So that's like an Irish family that I got, and most of them are like from Northern Ireland or Republic of Ireland. So I've just
Oh
been
wow.
busy building connections and networks and just meeting great people and collaborating and just doing whatever I can for them,
Oh, that's good, mate. It's good. It's good. That's what it's all about, isn't it? That's what it's all about.
Yeah, how's the networking been down in Brighton? Has it been quiet, or have you been doing online stuff, or what?
Yeah, I've been doing a few online stuff, but nothing. I was excited. I've got a golf day actually, a Steinbeck golf day planned in October 9th.
Yeah,
So I think we've done about 8, 9 teams on that already, which is great. So that's going to be our networker that we're going to bring them together with. So we're doing that for the Echo Trust and the Star Trust. So that's really good. Excited for that. But no, I could have, that's one thing I could have been doing more of is networking for definite. But it's on my radar now, so I'm on it.
yeah, definitely, and yeah, it's definitely worthwhile checking out some eastern, southeastern events online. Obviously, you can network online anywhere, but for you, you probably want to do more southeastern based events as you've got a venue in the southeast. Obviously, I know you're always into some other stuff as well, but you know, yeah, I should connect you with my mate Mark. His name's Mark Jarrett. Yeah, MARC Jarrett. Yeah,
All right.
JARRET. He's well
Yeah.
connected. He's based in the southeast, in North Sussex. He runs
Is it?
140 WhatsApp groups, so you can connect
Wow.
with him on WhatsApp. Yeah, but he's also on LinkedIn and Facebook and all that. But connect with Mark. He's been a global networker for a long time, and he's been banging the drum for virtual online networking before the lockdown,
It's landed right in his lap, isn't it? Brilliant.
Yeah, that's it. Well, when I met him, he had about 90 to 100 WhatsApp groups. He's got about 140 now. He keeps adding different niche groups for different people in different sectors, industries, and stuff to network together with each other,
Yeah,
So they're
brilliant.
like,
Good on him.
yeah, like when you get added to a company WhatsApp group or whatever, and there's like 10 people from the same company or same industry or whatever. They're like that type of WhatsApp group, where you might get 10 or 100 people, depending on what the group's about. So,
Yeah.
he's got groups for things like SAFAs, which are South Africans, Americans, Europeans, UKs, Irish. He's got, all niches like gold and silver buyers, jewelry traders, environmental businesses, all that's, loads marketeers, Facebookers, TikTokers, Instagrammers, just communities really, so people can just go join together and connect and chat with each other. He's got one which is
That's good.
one's called the VPN. It's a virtual power networking place, like basically like a pub, really, where everyone joins and you can just talk about anything you want to all the time.
Yeah. That's good, mate, isn't it? That's what you want. Happy days. That sounds brilliant, that.
Yeah, it's good. So I'm just thinking for
Well,
you
hook
that,
me up with him for definite. Hook me up with him for definite.
yeah, I'll do an introduction. I did tell him I would do an introduction to you. I also had another girl, Heather Barry, her name is. She's based down your way as well. And I did
Cool.
say I'd connect her to you as well because obviously, I think, I've met a lot of these people because they're interested in meeting people around the world and online and all that. But they're also, same as me, still interested in networking with people locally and all that. You've got to have
Yeah, cool.
fingers
Part
in
and
all the
parcel of the
pies, isn't
business,
it?
isn't it?
Yeah, you got to have your fingers in all the pies, making sure you're still looking after local, but also still looking after growth and global, and how you can do something on a wide, sort of worldwide basis.
Yeah, totally agree, mate. Totally agree. And yeah, look, anything you can do like that, mate, I'd be more appreciative to get it on to me.
Yeah, no worries, will do. I will. I'll direct those to you when we finish. And yeah, if there's anything I can do to help you, as always, you know where I am. And yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, maybe I'll get down to Brighton sometime. Let me know if there's any big events or anything that you're doing, anything different that's worth.
Like I said, if you fancy a game of golf, there'd be some good people there. 9th of October, come down and have a go.
I would do that, except I'm not a very good golfer. I don't particularly play.
Yeah, you don't need
I
to play
don't.
golf. Just come down.
Yeah, well, yeah, I do sometimes go to intrabiz events and just drive the buggies around and stuff. But I
Yeah,
just,
yeah, mate. I can always do with a wingman. So come down. Let's have a look at it.
well, yeah, well, if there's ever a big like day night or a couple of day things and it's worth, or a big event or like a Brighton, like an expo or anything like that, anything that's worth the 7 hour trip, you know. The thing is now, I used to
It's a,
travel.
it's a,
I used to
it's a
travel all
journey.
over the
It's a
place, but
journey.
now everyone can be zoomed. Now it's like because I'm like have I told you about my happiness formula, my success formula?
Yeah, you
I
told me,
spoke to you
yeah,
at the
from your
time, didn't I? I spoke to
yeah,
you at the time, yeah. Well, obviously, a big part of my. Did I tell you I called them smart and streams in the end?
yeah,
Yeah. So, and the streams is all about systems, technology, relationships, efficiency, action, marketing, and sales. And efficiency is one of the big things I've always lived by, And so for me, traveling 7 hours to go and do a 2 hour meeting or a 2 hour event used to be something I would consider because efficiency, it didn't make sense. But the people you wanted to go meet wouldn't have done a Zoom. They would expect you to see them. Whereas that whole
right.
expectation is gone now. So it's like, to me, the efficiency's got to win over. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, of
Except
course
for
it
if
is.
it's big enough, if it's big enough, it's a day or two, then I probably would do the travel. But just to come down for like a couple of hours or a half day of it, it's a long, to me now, it's quite difficult to justify that 7 hour round trip, or,
Yeah, of
nine
course.
hours sometimes going to Brighton, depending on the traffic.
Yeah, that's it. That's what it's about, isn't it? It's about doing, getting it right and getting it going. If it's worth it, then do it, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Plus, if you ever see any events where they need any speakers or whatever, obviously hook me up because
Yeah, well,
that's a bit, and obviously, if you've got anyone in your network who has got an interesting story to tell, or is just an entrepreneur, and they want to come on my podcast, then happy days, send them my way. Yeah.
yeah. I think there's a couple actually. I'll do when you send me those names. I'll hook you up with a couple of people I know as well. Then yeah,
All right, nice one. Yeah, do that, and
cracking.
yeah, it's a great way of them promoting themselves to a global audience because I've had probably, I'd say, at least 50 entrepreneurs from around the world on in the last month. And literally from all over the place, and they all tend to watch my content then after,
Yeah, of course. Yeah, well, that's exactly what you want, isn't it? It's what you want them to do.
Yeah, I tell you, I just come up with a really good strategy as well. I've recorded a video on my YouTube channel, and it's a welcome introduction to me and my network and all that sort of thing. Yeah. So whenever anyone connects me on social media now, I send them the video.
Right.
So that video is already had like loads of views. I've already recorded a couple of days ago, but it'll always get loads of reviews because I'm always connected to loads of people. So I say, oh,
Yeah,
thanks
yeah,
for connecting. Have a look at my video. And then I say, and if you want to subscribe to my channel, do so. So it's like a
yeah.
great
Good.
way of growing your channel and growing your views on your welcome and telling people about you and what you stand for.
Yeah, good. Well, that's exactly what it's about, isn't it? Have that. That's exactly what it's about.
Yeah. So that's really working well. You know me, I'm always trying things, always having a go at different, strategies. And that one is I can see it's going to be a diamond strategy. You know what I mean? I've only just started and it's already working well.
That's good, mate. Well, good luck with that. Good luck with that.
Yeah, definitely. And is there anything you want to say if people have seen this and they want to get in touch with you? Where do you want to
Yeah,
direct them
look, I
to?
think I'm on all the social media platforms, mate. Just go on put John Saunders in, you'll get my ugly mug, and then get in touch. But ultimately, as I said, it's flying the flag for the industry at the moment. So it's about making sure we stick to what we do. And anyone who's got any questions or have losing jobs or roles and want to catch up and want to just have a chat, just get in touch with me, mate. That'd be great.
Yeah, nice one. Okay. And just for those that don't know, John is Jon. Is John short for Jonathan rather than the John?
It is
So
indeed.
just get that plug in, because as somebody who's always searching for people on socials, if you got the letter wrong or whatever, it can get difficult to find them.
Yeah. I got it. Yeah, it's the stalkers. I got you.
But I was going to say, yeah, I don't know if I told you this. It probably haven't, because it happened, I think, during the lockdown period. But I think I've, for a long time now, I've been the number one Mike Armstrong on LinkedIn, but I'm the
Yeah.
number one Mike Armstrong on Google. And there was a lot of big boys ahead of me, like, a while back, and I was lower down the page, but I'm the number one. In fact, do a Google search for me. Let me know when I send you this message. Send me one back. Let me know if I was number one where you did it from, because obviously I'm in Wales, and so it might rank me. It might rank me ahead of other people from a Welsh perspective, but not from a UK or London perspective. So I'm interested in finding that out.
Well, I
Um,
just put Michael Armstrong in. It came up with Laugh with Mike. Is that you?
No, that's a comedian, that is. But search for
Yeah.
Mike Armstrong, not Michael, because I do all my marketing under Mike Armstrong generally. I got accounts under Michael, but yeah,
Yeah, let me have a look. I'll have a look in a second. I'll feed back to you.
yeah, okay, no worries at all. But yeah, from where
Cool.
I am, I'm the number one, and that took me a while, because there's like comedians and book writers, authors, CEOs of companies. There's a lot of big Mike Armstrongs, but there's only one Welsh dragon, Mike Armstrong,
There's only one Mike Armstrong, mate, in there.
Exactly, yeah. And if you have a look at hashtag Mike Armstrong, I'm all over the internet on that. So
Yeah, of course you are.
I
You're
own
number
the
one.
hashtag. I own the hashtag. They can all borrow someone
They
else's
can all
hashtag.
go. They can all go do one, can't they? There's only
Yeah,
one Mike
exactly.
Armstrong.
I put my flag on the hashtag of Mike Armstrong. They can,
Yeah,
they,
absolutely, good,
they can
absolutely.
have hashtag Mike Armstrong comedian or something, something longer.
Yeah. Well, I'll check it out anyway. I'll let you know, but I'll let you know.
All right, nice one. And enjoy the rest of your day, week, year. And if I don't
Yeah.
see you, be careful. Don't do anything I wouldn't do.
Well, that's quite a bit then. So yeah, happy days. So,
Well,
yeah,
you
nice to speak to
passed
you, bud.
there.
I'll catch you soon.
Exactly. And yeah, at some point,
Wales, Wales, Wales.
are you coming back for the finale of the Six Nations?
What's that meant to be the Scotland game, wasn't it?
I can't remember if it was one or two games. Was it just the one game or
No,
not? That's
no.
in the autumn test, isn't it?
I went to the French game. I think it might have been the Italy game left and the Scotland game. Was it? I thought it was just the one left.
I thought there might have been two, but I'm not 100% sure. I don't
I'm
know
not sure,
because
mate. I don't think the Millennium's open. I think they were talking about planning on just playing it down in Twickenham to get it done.
well, they,
The answer being no. We probably won't come back because we did have tickets, but they obviously they didn't refresh them. So we won't be coming back for that until this crowd's back. We probably won't be coming back for any games. But
no.
hey, mate, that doesn't mean I won't be watching it in my front room. So it'll all be good.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, if you do come back to Cardiff between now and Christmas or whenever, then let me know and we'll have a
I
beer.
will. 100%, mate. I will. Yeah, definitely. Thank you very much.
All right, no worries. Have a good day. All the best. Ta-ra.
And you, mate. See you later on. Cheers, bud.
Bye-bye. Bye. Right, there's nothing else left for me to say other than have a great day. I know I will. And thanks very much for listening. Cheers. Bye-bye.